Hi, this is Jodi Smith, and I am the president of the board of directors for this year, 2021. And each month, I am hoping to introduce not only a new helpful tool, but most importantly, another board of director so that you guys get to know our board of directors. And with me today is Mr. Jim Fase. Hi, Jim.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a real opportunity to be here with you this morning, Jodi. I appreciate the chance, and to let the membership know a little bit about me and what I do for a living.
I love it. I love it. And tell us tell us a little bit about you. You've been doing this a long time. We both went to the same school system. I think that's pretty cool.
Yes, other than I'm a lot older than you. So.
And then also our tool today. And tell us what our tool is today. This is something I thought would be right up your alley, and I appreciate that.
It really is. Well, first off, I'm Jim Fase with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. I'm here in Michigan. I've been in the real estate business since 1977, so I have been around. I am an SOB. I'm the son of a broker. My father, Don, started our company. I have a brother, Steve, and nephew, Stephen, in the business, and son, Patrick. I have a passion for housing. I always have been. Jodi, when I was in high school, I literally studied the real estate, read the book back then, and took the exam in 1977, and became literally my journey on the path of real estate.
Wow.
Today with our company, not only am I one of the main brokers, an associate broker, but I run what's called the risk management department. This is working with our agents to help them in their career to manage the risk of being in the real estate business. So really, what I'd like to do is to have everybody sit up straight in their seat this morning, put their feet flat on the floor, I want hands and elbows on the desk, ready to take notes. What I'm going to talk about for the next few minutes, it is good stuff. It's an important message. You can go out and use it at tonight's showing. So I really want to make sure that you know that this is an opportunity to not only thrive, but strive and thrive in today's real estate career. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
There's 3 or 4 topics I'd like to talk about, a couple big national ones. First one, discrimination. Remember, Michigan law prohibits, national law prohibits discrimination. I will go through the list for you. Complaints based on religion, race, color, national origin, arrest record, genetic information, sex, age, height, weight, marital status, and disability. It's real simple. If you suspect your client of any discriminatory practices, stop, see your supervisory broker, and make notes of it. Have nothing to do with it. Pretty clear. But we need to be reminded that this is still a very serious top matter. If you want to risk losing your real estate career, stay away from any kind of discrimination issue. Second off, I want to talk about Sherman antitrust issues. Sure, we had those back when I took my license in 1977. Sherman antitrust prohibits any kind of price fixing or group boycotting. So if you're ever with a bunch of agents and they're talking about, I really don't like this company, I don't think we should. No, you stop, you leave the discussion, you contact your supervisory broker. With both of these instances, when I say supervisory broker, you can make that phone call, but Jodi, I want you to do a text or an email to them, because to protect your career and your license, I want you to have a track record of, on this date, at this time, this is the message I sent to my broker needing supervisory instructions. That's huge. 2 big items, you guys. Both of those things, if you come across them later today, make sure it happens. You got to manage the risk. Okay, let's talk about something local. Showings. Remember, when you're a real estate agent, and I'm going to show your listing, Jodi, and it's an occupied listing and the seller is not home. I really am just kind of an invited guest into the house. And it's real funny with the courts, it's not a clear area. And my father, real estate broker for 68 years, would talk about a showing is just one level above illegal trespass. Because the seller knows you're there, but all of their stuff is in their home, they are gone, and you, the licensed agent, are kind of the custodian of their property. I recommend to manage the risk is that every agent talk to their prospective buyer before they walk into a home. And that discussion needs to be, There are some things that we can do, and there are some things we cannot do. To have the buyer walk into the master bedroom to start going through the dresser drawers looking for the jewelry box.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
This is not something that they should do. This is not part of a showing. Take control of the situation, make sure the buyer knows and stops that right now. When you're in another home, especially if it's an occupied home, you need to really make sure your buyers understand the rules of what is acceptable and what isn't. Also, just to tag onto that, cameras. I was listening to some agents talk the other day about how Alexis can record every conversation. There's Blink cameras. I mean, it's so easy. And I'm not going to get into the pros or cons. If you're going to manage the risk of being in the real estate business, make sure your buyers understand that, or assume that everything that is said and done in that buyer or in that seller's home by the buyer will be seen and recorded. I laugh. In 1986, we had baby monitors. You'd go into somebody's living room, there'd be a baby monitor, and you just assume the sellers were next door at the neighbor's house listening to every word. Whether it was right or wrong, left or right, I have no clue. But it's just something where you need to make sure that buyer understands that. Us as agents need to understand that. Next quick topic I want to talk about. Man, I love these. Jodi, this is a...
Oh, I missed that.
The computer section, so you could fill out the listing card. This was published in 2009, not that long ago. Now, Jodi, that's completely obsolete. Today we have mapping, we have iPhones, but yes, you can still use a map book. My point is the industry has changed. In the old days, everything was done by phone call. In today's world, if you're going to manage your career in this business, yes, you can still do phone calls, but it better be followed up with a text message or an email. And it would go, Jodi, thank you so much for the phone call this afternoon. We talked about the survey on the subject property, and we talked about the tree and the overhang. Thank you so much. The email covers your topic that you talked about and references the telephone call. Without that, the professional agent relies strictly on, Your Honor, this is what I said. This is what I said. And if it's 2 years after that conversation, that's a long time to remember a conversation.
It really is. Yeah.
Just like the map book, these you can still use them. You still use a phone call. But if you're not following up with a text or an email message to that, you're not managing the real estate business. Hey, one other thing, it's Con Ed time of the year.
Oh.
And if you read the state license law, you need 6 hours of Con Ed every year, but 2 hours of that needs to be legal, and that needs to be taken every year. A lot of our licensees will go and take 18 hours of Con Ed in the third year of their rotation for their license. Theoretically, if you did not take 2 hours of Con Ed in that first year of the cycle, you're not a legally licensed person your second and third year.
So don't wait till your third year is what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, it's so funny how a lot of members will say, well, Jim, you think the state will catch you? I don't worry about the state. I worry about the courtroom. You see, if you do something wrong or sued in that second year of the license renewal, and the plaintiff's attorney knows that you failed to get 2 hours of legal Con Ed during that first year, they know, the judge will know, the other attorney and your E&O company will all know you weren't properly licensed.
Yep.
Not a good position when you're in a courtroom. So just, I hate to preach to the choir because I know your members are the very best at Grauer, but still, please make sure that's up. And all this really comes down to is realtor stress. I don't know if you guys know it. This is a stressful business.
It's very stressful.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. But you also need to manage the stress of the business. We are the center of the transaction. Everybody relies on us, and we rely on other vendors to do their jobs. Inspectors, surveyors, lenders. So it's something where we perform a beautiful dance.
Yep.
When somebody else doesn't do their job, that stress falls directly back on us. So just you've got to be prepared to deal with that stuff. And don't feel special. In 1977, 78, we had just as much stress, if not a little more, because we didn't have electronic signatures. And I remember when we had fax machines, they were the blessings.
Yes. Yeah,
Well,
you physically just had to hand the paper to all your clients and meet with them. Yep,
I would have to drive to their house. Our
exactly.
purchase agreements were like carbon copied,
Mhm.
4 and 6 pages.
Yep, I
So
was
that's
there.
my presentation. I'm honored to serve for the association. We have one of the greatest associations, in my humble opinion, in the state of Michigan. And it's so nice to be invited here today. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
well,
Do you have any comments on my topic?
I do. I love so many of them, and they're very high level, and I love that because it's all these are really good reminders. You went from the discrimination to antitrust. I think that's a big one that a lot of people just aren't aware of. Think about what we say on Facebook, on our Facebook thread. There's areas where we're going down some rabbit holes. I really love that. I loved also that to contact your supervisor, your supervising broker. I think GRAR is a great place to go for other questions. But when you have a contractual question, something that you're feeling like if in doubt, if there's something, I have a rule, if in doubt, don't call your broker. If in doubt, don't call your fellow realtor, call your broker, call your managing broker, call that person when you have that legal question. Also, slow down. I keep saying you got to slow down, and we need to make sure that we're reading these contracts. I personally print off every purchase agreement and I highlight everything that's typed in or written in because it's easy to quickly go over it. And sometimes the electronic forms are wonderful, but you can easily miss the information that's filled in. And then what else do I have here? Oh, one of my beliefs is to do everything has got to be in writing. Everything. If you talk to a municipality about city water, city sewer, zoning, I always send an email to that person, and then I want that answer back in an email. I print that off, I add it to the file, I make a copy of it for my buyer, or I just keep it in my file for my sellers because anything has to be in writing. I agree. You can have the conversation, and then I say to the assessor or the zoning department, I go, can you send me an email on our conversation, please? Get it in writing. So
yes.
Love it.
Managing the risk of being in the real estate business. Excellent. Well spoken.
Well, I thank you so much, Jim. I love your hat. That's awesome. And thank you so much for being here. And I hope that you guys just really, take care of your business and you get paid well for solving problems before they become big problems. Okay. So thank you so much. Everyone have a great October.
Thank you.